Hey everybody, this is Dr. Langdon again, board certified pediatrician, mom of 6 and grandma of 3. And I want you to notice that I said board certified pediatrician. And the reason I did that is currently there are massive amounts of misinformation, even disinformation. And I urge all of you guys to check your sources. Are they a physician? What kind? Where did they train? I graduated from medical school at Duke University School of Medicine. It's got a great reputation. Yay, go Blue Devils. I did my pediatrics residency at the University of Virginia in Charlottesville, Virginia. Fabulous residency program. And then I've been practicing general peds since 1998 in both privately owned practices and hospital owned practices. And now I am the clinical chair of pediatrics at a medical school and serve as the vice chair of my local county's board of health. I do have a very long CV, and this is not about that. I just want you guys to understand that when you're getting scary messages about how dangerous vaccines are or that they're ineffective or unnecessary, question your sources, okay? I also want to bust up some myths. So one of the myths you will hear all the time is that, oh my goodness, they're asking for those children to get so many shots. It overwhelms their immune system. Baloney, baloney, baloney. One trip to Walmart is an exposure to thousands and thousands of antigens. That's not what we're doing with vaccines. In fact, let me dazzle you with some actual numbers that are true. In 1983, by the time a child was 18 months, they would have been protected by vaccines against 7 different diseases, okay? But the cost of that, the price to pay, was exposure to about 3,000 antigens. These days, children by around 18 months have had some protection against 15 diseases with exposure to about 180 antigens. Wow, that's incredible. You know why that's possible? Technology. So back in the day, in those days in the early 80s, the pertussis vaccine as a part of DTaP would have been whole cell pertussis. I think a lot of people hear wholesale and they think about like in a warehouse. I don't mean it's on a good discount. I mean the entire cell, C-E-L-L, whole entire cell of pertussis was put into the vaccine. Well, as you can imagine, this triggered a ginormous inflammatory response, an antibody response. The antibody response is great. That's what generates immunity. But the whole inflammatory response resulted in some very high fevers, even febrile seizures. Thank goodness, now that the technology is better and we're just getting a couple of proteins from the cell wall, it's a much less inflammatory vaccine. So that is pretty incredible. Several decades ago, exposed to 3,000 antigens, but only protected against 7 diseases, and now exposed to 180 antigens and protected against 15 diseases. So the next time an anti-vaxxer tries to tell you that we, your pediatricians who love you and your children and your family and wish only to protect them and do not get any kickbacks, are trying to sell or push or overwhelm your kid's immune system, they are factually incorrect. Please remember that. Thank you guys so much.